You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
Welcome back, guys. It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Man, I just received some news the other day about a new Dragon Ball fighting game coming early 2018. And so far, all we know is that the name they're calling it is Dragon Ball Fighters. Now, what we also know is that it is a 2.5D game. So basically, it's a 2D game in essence. The fighters are in 2D, and the stage or the areas that you fight in is going to be 2.5. I've been waiting on a game like this for as long as I can remember. A Dragon Ball game that is actually a 2D game, and it's actually current gen. Okay, we've had some in the past, Super Nintendos with Falcom, and some other games, but not up to par with today's standards as far as graphics and all of that. Man, I have a screenshot of this game, guys, and you can check that out at my on my Twitter page, if you want, at Studio MacGyver. Go check that out, man. Anyway, I've been waiting for this for so long. The closest we've come to this, in my opinion, has been the Hyper Dragon Ball Z game made by fans for fans that is actually out now. You can download it. Look that up. It's a very good game. They're actually working on some new characters, which they claim will be out this year. Tien Shinhan is one of those. Kudos to the squad for putting him in the game. I think we also got Android 18 coming and a couple other characters, so be looking out for that. But back to this game here. It supposedly got leaked a little early. At least the screenshots did. They should be bringing this up. We should hear something about it. E3, which is supposedly going to be, I think, E3 is going to be, the 13th through the 15th, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's right around the corner. And, man, I can't wait. The game looks beautiful. And guess who is actually working on this project? The same company who's been working on the Guilty Gear franchise. Now, that right there sold me off top. Before I even saw screenshots or anything like that, when I heard that they were doing it, I already knew it was over. Game over. Take my money. It's already paid for. And on top of that, because it's not going to be 3D. The beautiful thing about it is, this is actually going to be a actual fighting game. In other words, it's going to be compared to, as you know, you can compare it to Guilty Gear. You can compare it to Street Fighter or any other games in that realm. You actually have to use skill, and you have to be smart, and you have to practice and develop your combos and whatnot. Basically like any other game, Injustice 2, all of those type of style of game. And I'm happy about that because Xenoverse is a fun game for fans of the series, but don't get me wrong. It's, in my opinion, it's not an actual fighting game. It's broken in so many ways as far as the stuff that you do and other people do to you. If you've played Xenoverse, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go ahead and check it out. It's still a great game. I recommend it to all Dragon Ball fans who love the franchise. But as far as a complete fighting game is concerned, that is not what it is, in my opinion. Now, this upcoming game here is going to be that, and then some. I just can't wait to see what the roster is going to look like, what they have planned for the future, because the clip, well, it's not even a clip, it's just a screenshot of the game. It looks exactly like you were watching it on TV in HD, like you were watching a Dragon Ball episode on TV in HD. I can't wait for this. I really can't. They said the game is going to be very, very flashy. There's going to be some awesome finishers and special moves in this game taken right out of that Dragon Ball. So if they just take the animation from the series, I mean, you're winning. You win all day. Can't wait for this, man. Oh, 2018 seems so far away. But yeah, I had to break this to my listeners, man. If you don't know about this game, just Google it. New Dragon Ball game 2018 and see what pops up. Hopefully we get more information, and I'm pretty sure we will as time progresses. But as of right now, that is pretty much all I know about the game. They didn't really want anybody having the screenshots, but once it got leaked on the internet, I mean, it's everywhere now. You can get the screenshots pretty much. You can find them anywhere. Just check it out on my Twitter account or anywhere for that matter, and you'll understand what I'm talking about graphically, just to have an idea what to look forward to with this game. Man, man, it's crazy. I also want to talk about, of course, the latest Dragon Ball Super episode 94. That episode actually, it was a filler episode, getting ready for the tournament, but the ending got pretty interesting. What ended up happening was Goku basically told Trunks and Gotenks that they need to go to this island and keep it safe, basically taking the place of Android 17, because 17 is going to be participating in this tournament. So he needs to make sure that that island is cool and is protected from poachers and enemies coming to that island trying to kill animals for profit. But Goku went to pick up Frieza from Baba's crib. And when they were on their way to the tournament, all of a sudden they were approached by, I don't know, maybe I want to say 50 or so enemies, assassins, if you will, trying to take out Frieza. The goal was to take out Frieza so that Universe 7 wouldn't have enough fighters to participate in the tournament, and then they would be disqualified, and then their universe would just be destroyed on the spot. So that's what the other universe was cooking up and trying to make happen. Frieza had an awesome transformation into his gold form at the end. It was very nice. And Frieza wants to fight them. Goku's telling him, we don't have time for this shit right now. We got to make the tournament. We can't be late. We don't want to be disqualified. Frieza's telling him, no, hold up. This is light work. Come on, join me. Let's take these guys out real quick. And then that's the end of the episode. So the next episode, they're actually going to be fighting these assassins, if you will, trying to make it to the tournament on time. Frieza doesn't give a damn. He seems to be perfectly content with sitting there and killing everybody. Goku, on the other hand, is a little nervous. He's trying to make it on time. He doesn't want to be late. There was a scene right before they were about to leave where they were walking out the door, and all of a sudden, Goku takes a punch to the gut from Frieza. And Frieza looks at him and says, "Hey, I apologize. I slipped and ended up hitting you. My bad." And then Goku turns around and does the same thing to him, punches him in the gut and tells him, "Hey, I'm sorry too. It happens. I understand." So it's looking quite good. The tournament is right. I mean, I keep saying this right around the corner, but it's literally right around the corner now. So many things are finna hit the fan. I can't wait to find out what's going to happen. That was episode 94 in a nutshell for the most part. Basically, the rest was just simply filler, getting everybody ready. Also, this weekend, I I had a little adventure at the bookstore, getting into some of these books that I was talking about in the last couple podcasts, as far as me discovering comics again and graphic novels and getting into those books where I left off as a teenager. And boy, are there so many good books out there right now. So many people have their own books, man. I realize I'm looking around at all these books, Deathstroke, all these enemies and not just heroes are getting their own books, whether it be a one or two shot book or whether it just be a simple, they simply just have their own book right now. DC and DC Comics, I'm a big Dark Knight fan. Love the Dark Knight. My favorite Batman story was The Dark Knight Returns. And I'm also a big Nightwing fan. Those are like my two favorites in DC. Marvel, on the other hand, their universe is more expansive. Their universe is just, they've got so many dynamic characters, man. At least from my perspective, growing up, reading them and stuff like that. DC is a few characters, but they're fully fleshed out and they're just great characters. But Marvel has so many characters, man, that just contribute to the universe. It's sickening in a good way. Captain America, of course, is my favorite Marvel character overall. I do have some honorable mentions. Spider-Man is an honorable mention. Who else? I used to love Darkhawk back in the day. He's like a C-level character. Had his own book for a while back in the 90s and then kind of just fell off or whatever. I love Cable as well. If you guys don't know about Cable, you should look that man up. He's the son of Jean Grey and Cyclops. And he's basically some sort of kind of a time traveler, if you will. But yeah, his number one reboot came out not too long ago. I picked that up. So, I'm getting back in here. I'm trying to, get my feet wet again in the book world, but it's very, very interesting out there. And I'm happy to be back. Which brings me to where we are now. There is a book out that hasn't been out long, and it's basically what got me extra fired up to be a comic reader again. And boy, it is a doozy. Like I told you guys earlier, I am a big Cap fan, Captain America. There's a story out right now, and it goes by the name of Secret Empire. And I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what the story is about. Basically, if you guys know Captain America, which most of you are familiar with in some shape, fashion, or form, he's a superhero who believes in all the stuff that heroes believe in. Do your push-ups and take your vitamins. And he's a very patriotic character. But what's so amazing about this story is that he turns his back on the nation, on the world, if you will. Basically, the story is about him and everybody finding out that he is a Hydra agent. So if you think Hydra, think Adolf Hitler. Think Adolf Hitler. And that's basically what Hydra represents. They're the most similar to them. The only difference is Hydra is very secret about their stuff, as Adolf Hitler was very upfront and personal. If you didn't believe in our values and you weren't German, we were killing you. Hydra is similar, but they take a stealthier approach. They have a lot of people that you might never guess, would be associated with them. working for them and doing it on the low, undercover, doing it so nobody knows. There's a plan in place, and they're trying to achieve certain things, and by doing so, they do it all in the dark. They don't want anybody knowing who they really are. And come to find out, Captain America, the most patriotic character in the Marvel Universe and one of the most beloved, is not who he says he is, not who people think he really is. So he's basically trying to take down the nation, the world, if you will. They are, and it looks like it's going to happen in this book. He does some crazy shit. He sends a lot of his friends, or who they thought he was their friend. He sends them out into space, and he locks them into space. In other words, they're in space, but they can't return. There's no return. There's no way they can get back into the Earth's atmosphere right now because of Captain America. Some things and some events had happened to the point where they basically handed over the reins to Captain America. In other words, they let Captain America call all the shots. He's a strategist by nature, one of the best in Marvel, in the universe, and they gave him complete reign, complete autonomy. Even the president doesn't have the pull that Captain America has now. He's the number one guy. And all this was a designed plan from Hydra, back from even before Captain America even took the super soldier serum to make him who he is today. So it's crazy. I haven't even got a chance to really read it. I just heard about the story on the internet because I was trying to figure out what's out there that I would like to pick up and read first. What book would I want to get this party started with? And the first book I bought was Cable #1, and this is the second book. And boy, I can't wait to get into it. I have the 0 issue, which is the prologue, and then all the way up to issue #3. So there's 0, 1, 2, and 3 right now that's out. I'm going to read it this weekend, and next week's podcast I will give a brief explanation of what has been transpiring in this book, in this story. Cannot wait. Very ecstatic. Oh, yes. Something that I've been waiting for. It caught me off guard. Being a Captain America fan, I'm surprised they didn't write anything like this sooner, but I'm glad that they did now. And maybe they could have. Maybe I just don't know about it. Like I said, I've been away from years. So the fun thing is knowing that there's so many good books out there, and I'm just scratching the surface. So there's always going to be something for me to pick up and read, and I look forward to it. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much what I've been doing this weekend. I've also been playing a little Injustice, not much. I've also been playing a little bit of Marvel Heroes Omega. And I just recently downloaded Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the PS4. And really the only reason why I did that is because a friend of mine claims that I will not win a match, not one single match, fighting him in this game. And it started to bother me because I love fighting games. It's one of my favorite genre of games to play, and action adventure. Those are my two favorites. Role playing is in there, in the close third. But those are my games, and he really touched me when he said that, because in Street Fighter he cannot hold me. In Street Fighter he got handled. Bottom line, period. And I'm going to learn how to play this, and I'm going to handle him. I'm going to make him wish he never picked up a controller, and he's going to eat those words. Yes, he will. But yeah, it's a beautiful game. Came out originally for the PS3. They just ported it over to the PS4, PC, and I think it's also out for Xbox One. Cool game, man. I better than I remember it being on the PS3. I didn't get to play much of it on the PS3. I saw some people playing it, and I don't know. I guess I didn't like the graphics then, but for some reason I actually love them right now from what I'm looking at. And it's got my boy Cap in there. It's got Spider-Man. It's got some cool characters, and they're not like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is my favorite, because that roster was crazy. But this one, the roster is still okay. Doesn't have as many of the characters, but it's still they have enough, more than enough to accommodate, the average person. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, so that's pretty much been my weekend thus far. I got these books to look forward to. I also picked up book number 9 of The Dark Knight Master Race. Yeah. I'm a big Dark Knight fan and want to see what this is going to do, what this book is going to explain, lay out on the line. I picked up some Nightwing books too. Man, I went crazy at the bookstore, man. But that's cool. I'm back, and that's all that matters. I think that's going to do it for the show, guys. Just wanted to touch base with you guys on the Dragon Ball episode and the new game coming out early 2018. I'm sure you guys will find out and check it out. E3 is around the corner. We're going to learn a lot more on what's to come. I've heard rumors. Now, I'm not going to confirm this because I don't know if it was trolled or not. But from what I've seen, we're going to get the God of War game this year, sometime November. Now, don't quote me on that, but it is a good possibility. I'll know more on that as time transpires. Probably next week I should know, and I'll let you guys in on that. On that note, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, you want to leave a comment, you want to be on the show, mentioned on the show, you want to shout me out, whatever, you can do so at Studio MacGyver on Twitter. You can also email me, Studio MacGyver Music with a K at yahoo.com. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate the loyalty, and I really appreciate you guys just taking a chance on a guy. I just want to do a podcast, man, and touch some people. With that being said, it has been your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.